Okay, you know what that sound means. Now, it has nothing to do with aliens or anything like that. When you hear that sound bite, that means I have something very controversial I want to talk about. So let's talk about this. This is Joseph Brownlee. Welcome to 15 minutes of relevant, important topics that need to be heard, that need to be said, in other words. So let's get into this. Politics. And I'm gonna get right straight into this. Pandering. Pandering that I'm talking about is when you trying to influence or you're pandering to someone to try to make them feel good, or you trying to achieve something, or you trying to get them to vote for you, or pandering can be used in different ways. Or there's good, I don't think it's really a good pandering, but it's like two different ways of pandering somebody when you want to get something out of them. That's the right way to say it. Pandering when it comes to politics or a relationship or friendship, you usually pander them because you want something out of them. It's usually in a unsincere way that you want something out of that person, whether it's a relationship or whether it's in business or whatever. There's always some type of, often or sometimes always a type of pandering to try to negotiate a contract. You pander something, certain groups or people to try to get something sold so they can buy something for you by lifting them up. But, telling them how much this car is going to be good for you, that you would be right for this car. You got the right style. You got the right charisma. I like your voice. I like your look. Your body fits right with this. It's just different types of pandering. Now, the pandering I want to talk about is political pandering that I see. And the group of people for the last few years, for both parties, but mainly dominated by one party, because I'm talking about politics, which I do once in a while. I call it politics on Real Talk. I talk about different things. Some people, believers, don't talk about it, but I do talk about politics, And the group that's been pandering is black people. Black Americans are being pandered lately by both parties. Now you say, Joe, what do you mean now? Let me just give you a disclaimer what I mean by that, because some of the pandering is kind of a bad word, but some of the pandering is not that bad. Let me give you a somewhat good type of pandering, if it is one, and you just make your own judgment on that. It always has been a cry that Republicans do not reach out to black people, from what I'm just hearing from these shows I just been listening to, that Republicans don't, and this is a black man said this, that's on Fox News. I think his name is Lawrence Taylor, I believe. He was saying the reason that Republicans, what's he saying? Was that Lawrence Taylor, or was that somebody else? This is another black guy. He's a conservative black guy. And he was saying the reason Republicans feel that they don't need to pander to black people or touch on black people's issues, black Americans' issues, is because they usually didn't need the black people's issues. I mean, the black person's vote, not say that they're racist, because they're not. It's because most of the Republicans, the white voters and some Latino voters, they win votes that way. They didn't need to pander to the black people. According to, I'm using the word pander. He didn't say pander, but I'm using that because I'm trying to go somewhere with this with the 10 minutes I got left. So the Republicans is not known to reaching out to black communities, so they was all often known as racist. The Democratic Party called them racists, etc., and different things like that. And Republicans is not known as, even what I have seen, to really reach out to the black communities, even black Republicans. Now, Republican as a name, because you got Republicans and you got conservative Republicans, and you got modern Republicans, and then you got rhino Republicans. That's Republicans in name only. Democrats with a Republican mask on. So it's different type of ways you must look at the Republican, and Christian conservatives. But Republicans, all of them, was not known to really reaching out to black communities. Even ministers that's known as Christian conservatives really don't reach out to the black race, because Republicans usually win a lot of their seats were predominantly white people, Caucasian people, and some Latino people, but mainly Caucasian people. They done pretty well in the white community, predominantly white. But the black community, they don't get nothing but 5-10% majority of the time when it comes to the black community. And I'm talking about here in America now. And that's just a fact. I don't know the true statistics, but that's just a fact. So when I'm talking about pandering, and what all been going on with the illegal immigration and stuff like that. Now, what I see now is a little of a turn for black people now. And I'm going to probably get some kickback for this. And I think a lot of this a lot of this little turn for black people that may give a Republican a chance now is because what's going on with the illegal immigration. And that's a big part of it. And you cannot deny that as a black man or even a black person. If you're looking at it in a common sense view, and you're not being gaslighted, and you just looking at what's really going on, what I see is black people are changing their mind about their party, because what's really going on with the illegal immigration. Now, I'm glad they are opening up their eyes, black men and black women. I'm glad that your eyes are opening up. And it took so long, and it took this illegal immigration to be coming in and stealing your goods and taking your goods. Now, this is what people might not like what I have to say. A lot of this free stuff is, a lot of black people are mad at that because they think that free stuff should be for them. And that's why a lot of black people, mostly a lot of Democrats and some Republican blacks, in name only, still will be crying reparations. Now, this black young man, he's got a show called A Black Conservative Perspective. The blackness movement of focusing on black people has been pretty strong in the last few years. And black people are getting pandered to by both parties. See? And, and it is really growing. And what do I mean by pandering? The black vote is very important for the Democratic Party to win. They need the black vote. Even though they really have not done nothing for black Americans, they need the black vote. So that's why they pander and they give out freebies like welfares and talk about taking, stopping student loans, anything. See, they pander to black people just for a vote, not to do something good for black people. They use black people for their vote, so they pander to them by giving them stuff. And black people like freebies and they like gimmies. That's just real. And that's why they keep the most majority of the black on their ticket, because of promises of giving them things, reparations, giving them this, doing this for them, keeping, not being hard on crime and stuff like that. Sadly to say, a lot of black people are for that, because a lot of black people are black young men, especially, and women, is caught up in crime. So when they hear that the police are soft and defunding the police officers, no more bails in Chicago, the criminal blacks out there and the ones that's mischievous and doing all this stuff, they like that. They like those rules by the Democratic Party. See, the Democratic Party don't care about your life expectancy in the black community as long as you can get their vote. So they will pander to you in that type of way. They'll give you what you want. Even if you're doing crime, they're going to give you what you want. And black people like that, so they're easy to vote for that. They give you little low-income housing. They give you Section 8. They give you this or whatever like that. And I'm not saying all that stuff is bad, but it has been abused, and black people has abused it, you know. Now, what's going on now with the illegal immigration going on? Illegal immigration has come in and took over. Now, the freebies the blacks are supposed to get, the free housing that the blacks were supposed to get or promised by the Democratic Party to get, they're giving it to the illegals now. And you hear the crime that these illegals are doing now, breaking in stores and fighting against police officers. Young black men and women, a lot of them out there was already doing that. You see what I'm saying? Then you hear black people talking about our crime is this. You know, they coming in, they stealing, they doing this, they talking this way, and ignoring that black people was already doing that. Now, black people as a certain group of them, a very small group was already doing the same thing that these illegals is doing now. So you see the hypocrisy. You see the hypocrisy up in there. So a lot of the blacks are waking up and looking more into. Now, this is a good thing of what the Democrat has been doing for them for all these years, which is nothing. The hoods got worse, the ghettos got worse, the streets got worse since they've been voting the Democratic Party. So this movement of all of a sudden the black party finally saying that we need to get out this plantation party, eyes are opening now, you know, up now because of this illegal immigration movement, and that's why their eyes are opening up. Not for those other things I'm talking about. Because if it wasn't, I'm going to be honest with you, if it wasn't for this illegal immigration and these people coming in and taking a lot of things that blacks believe that belong to them, you wouldn't have this shift. I have no doubt. You would not have this shift, and that's kind of sad. You would not have this shift. So the pandering to blacks is kind of weakening now. Because illegal immigration. Now they're knowing the reason they're doing this is not because they love them and they love the asylum seekers. They believe these people are asylum seekers and really need help. They know they're coming over to take over the vote. Because the older black people, like one person said, is waking up now. See? So their pandering is kind of playing out. But it took this illegal immigration thing for a lot of blacks' eyes to really open and then start looking at other things that they noticed that the liberals and the Democrats has not been doing for them. So they've been pandering black people. I don't believe in pandering nobody, no type of ethnic group. I don't believe in reparations, in a sense that black people need to be taken care of or reparated. I'm not for that. I do things on my own. I believe you need to be independent. I believe you need to pull up your straps and just be independent and get off that plantation because you're keeping yourself in that slavery plantation type of mentality, looking for still the government to give you something. Now, no matter how much of a turn they are, no matter how much a Republican go down there, if the black people don't hear nothing about reparations, they're going to turn their back again on the Republicans. Just probably start calling them racist. They're not for us. And still, until a black man and a black woman start looking at other things besides what's for me, they will not grow. Let me say this again before I go. Until black men and black women start looking at the other good things that the Republicans can offer and study what's for me, they will not change. They will not do no better, and they will turn their backs on the Republicans. Not even knowing that the other things like low taxes, better schools, stronger police force, different things like that, you know, making the economy stronger, whatever like that, cleaning up the streets and whatever like that, you know, better education, real education, getting rid of this transgender movement and stuff like that, shutting down the borders and stuff like that, all in one. When they look at that type of thing all in one, then they can grow and they can become better. But as long as they keep getting stuck on reparations and what's for just black people, looking at it one way like that, they will not grow. And they will wind up being in the same boat, not knowing that they can do much better voting that way. And I'm going to get more into that in the next episode of Real Talk Politics with Joseph Brownlee. Real Talk. Peace out.